Saitama vs. Goku, the eternal question that fans have been asking themselves ever since Saitama was basically introduced. We started to see this new baldy character come in with incredible feats, and so fans have been questioning for the past 5 years or so, would Saitama beat Goku? Arguments have been mixed from both sides, as power scalers use math and feats to try to figure out if Saitama is capable of beating Goku. After all we had really seen from Saitama was him jumping from the moon down to Earth, cracking the moon's crust, and parting the entire clouds of the planet with a serious punch. Meanwhile, early characters in Dragon Ball Z were already nuking planets, so it didn't seem like in terms of raw power, Saitama really had any chance to go up against Goku, but with the most recent chapters of One Punch Man, as we saw Saitama fight against God Garo in space, we saw Saitama's power grow exponentially to the point where only a sneeze of his blew off the entire crust of Jupiter, which is 1,300 times the size of Earth. A single sneeze blowing up about 1,300 Earths. And this was due to his insane power scaling growth in his battle with God Garo. He reached a level that nobody had ever seen before. And for comparison, we saw that a single sneeze from Beerus also destroyed a planet. Does that mean that Saitama is on Beerus's level? Maybe so, maybe not. We still haven't truly seen Saitama's full power and capabilities, as he's never gone up against an opponent that actually poses a threat to him, God Garo being the closest thing to that we've ever gotten. And One Punch Man's artist, Yusuke Murata, was kind enough to give us a power scaling graph in the One Punch Man manga during this battle, and it showed us that if Saitama fought any opponent stronger than him or equal, Saitama has this absolutely absurd growth potential where his power continues to scale exponentially. So, like many fan animators, including myself, as we've created fan animations of Saitama vs. Goku, we see that Saitama pretty much starts off fighting Goku. Goku goes through his forms, getting a slight advantage each time, but as Saitama unlocks more of his power, it forces Goku to go through higher and higher levels of his forms. And I would say that this is extremely accurate. We're going to go through all of the proof, facts, and information to decide who is the victor and why, coming up right after this. Today's sponsor is Bloodline: Heroes of Lithas, an RPG where you collect champions as you journey through the world of Lithas, full of challenges and fantasy to explore. One of the coolest elements of Bloodline: Heroes of Lithas is the marriage system. As you collect champions, you can marry them and have offspring. Your heirs will get the best traits from both parents, and you'll have a new super powerful fighter for your team. Train the offspring, teach them through studying, and they will grow to become a complete powerhouse. Just be careful though, because once you bear offspring, the parents will be removed from your team. You can get the clan of Karg for free just by logging in, which includes the champion Karg, Dragonborn, and Lycans, which are werewolves. Some families have more potential than others and can reach a higher power cap, so make sure that you choose wisely. I've fought hordes of enemies, managed my kingdom, courted a champion or two, and raised heirs resulting from those courtships. As you progress through these missions, you unlock more of your kingdom, with its resources contributing to your own story efforts. You can download Bloodline: Heroes of Lithas for free right now by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code you're seeing on the screen right now. Use my gift code BLDHOL2 to get some free rewards as soon as you get in-game. Now you might be asking yourself, why couldn't Goku just go into his highest form, turn into Ultra Instinct, and just nuke Saitama in one blast before Saitama has the ability to grow any stronger? Well, quite simply, Saitama is invincible. And even further, Goku would never do that. We have to take into account Goku's personality, and he always starts off slow, warming up before going into his highest level. He loves the thrill of slowly progressing fights, and thus he's going to play directly into Saitama's trap. He's going to slowly progress through forms, allowing Saitama to exceed him exponentially in power, forcing Goku to jump ahead once again by transforming to his next highest state, to which Saitama would simply outgrow that one again. Goku would eventually run out of forms, and Saitama's power would grow far beyond Goku. We've never seen him in the history of One Punch Man take a single point of damage. It was questionable in the battle with Garo, as we got panels of Saitama appearing to spit out blood, but as we saw in later chapters, he had taken 0 damage. God Garo, a character who could use all of the powers of the universe, including supernova power with his gamma ray burst attack, who also copied Saitama's serious mode, still could not inflict a single point of damage on Saitama, even with his most powerful attacks. And this is important because if we were basing the battle of Goku vs Saitama on his Season 1 power scaling, it would perhaps be a stalemate where Goku simply couldn't hurt Saitama and Saitama simply couldn't hurt Goku. But with these recent chapters and the power scaling graph that Murata provided, we can see that no matter who Saitama faces, no matter how omnipotent of a being it is, Saitama's power will grow so exponentially that eventually he will start to one-shot that person. So before we get into any of the other evidence, proof, and techniques, at its simplest form, eventually Saitama would outgrow Goku. But there's even more than that. We also saw that Saitama was able to learn time travel. In the rare scenario that it was somehow possible that Saitama could not beat Ultra Instinct Goku, he could travel back in time and just simply wipe out child Goku with ease. And you might be asking yourself, couldn't Goku just grab onto Saitama, instant transmission him out somewhere in space, and then transport back to Earth, leaving Saitama to die out in the cold of space? Well, for one, Saitama doesn't need to breathe. As we saw from not only the moon of Earth, but also the moon of Jupiter, Saitama doesn't need air. He does not need to breathe, and we've seen Goku fight out in the atmosphere, Saiyans seemingly having a ability to fight in the atmosphere without much detriment to their overall stamina, but not in the cold of space. Saitama can just simply serious fart his way back to Earth. There was even an interview where Murata was asked what would have happened if Boros kicked Saitama into the moon, but there was no moon there. Would he have just flown out into space and simply died? To which Murata replied, oh, I bet he would have just serious farted his way back. And that's exactly what happened as Garo tried to leave Saitama out in the cold of space. He farted his way back to Earth, following Garo through his hyperspace gate. But even more than that, Saitama simply could have braced himself on any planet and just jumped back to Earth. Now, what about Goku's martial arts? We know that Saitama doesn't really have much martial arts technique as it is, Garo even mentioning that in their battle and slightly taking advantage of the fight for a brief moment by simply outmaneuvering Saitama. This would only give Goku a brief advantage as Saitama's power scaling is exponential and infinite. Eventually, Saitama would get too strong and fast that Goku's martial arts would become completely inconsequential. He would no longer be able to dodge or deflect Saitama's punches, and Saitama's punches would start just completely shattering Goku's guard. Even further than that, we've seen that Saitama can copy other people's techniques, potentially even being able to copy Ultra Instinct. He simply looked at Garo's ultimate martial arts, which wasn't even perfected with the power of God, and was able to copy it, giving him time travel. Saitama does not obey the laws of physics or reality. We've even seen him punch his way into another dimension. So if Goku is trying to escape into the Room of Spirit and Time, or Heaven, or Hell, or some other alternate Dragon Ball dimension, potentially Saitama could just punch his way into it and chase Goku down. Quite a scary thought. And let's not forget Saitama's durability. He was able to withstand the strongest explosion in the entire universe, and he also did not feel the effects of cosmic radiation around him. He is literally invincible, and meanwhile Goku has pretty low durability. Goku would start the fight in his base form, and he would take one singular punch to the face from Saitama, and it would completely wreck his world. And Goku would let him do it too, just to gauge his power. We've seen Goku say that before in the anime. Additionally, we know that Goku, if his guard is down, can take critical damage from just a low-level attack. If he wasn't expecting Saitama to appear, Saitama simply could just punch through Goku's chest. Now, what about Goku's ultimate technique, the Genki Dama? Well, Saitama's a good guy. The Genki Dama does more damage the more evil you are, and it doesn't matter how big that Genki Dama is, it's simply not going to hurt Saitama. He's invincible, and he's limitless. Goku has low durability and a limited amount of power. Even if Goku brought a bag of 1,000 Senzu beans and continually ate them during the fight, achieving new forms throughout, eventually he would run out of Senzu beans. Well, Saitama doesn't need Senzus, doesn't need stamina, and just continually forever grows stronger and stronger. And he doesn't even grow stronger at a Dragon Ball level scale. He grows exponentially stronger, which means that even if during this battle Goku achieved a new form beyond Ultra Instinct, it simply wouldn't match up with Saitama's growth potential. And I think that's the biggest argument in favor of Saitama. Up until the most recent chapters, we didn't really know that Saitama had this insane growth potential, but now that we do, now that we've seen the power scaling chart and his limitlessness, it's very clear that there's no way Goku could beat him. It may have been questionable before, it may have been a stalemate before, but with the most recent information, Saitama wins. And pretty easily. Now there's one more thing I want to mention, and that's the clash of two serious punches wiping out a void of space, and if we compare that to Goku clashing with Beerus and potentially destroying the entire universe, doesn't really seem that equal yet. It might seem in this case that Goku's power in his highest form is multi-universal level, where Saitama definitely he can't even cross into other universes that we don't think. And I don't think there's any argument there that if Goku in his current state of Dragon Ball Super in the manga fights against Saitama, in the beginning he will be way stronger than Saitama. But including this growth potential, this limitless ability to grow stronger than your opponents and skyrocket far beyond them, the only other situation that could really happen is mutually assured destruction. To sum it up, Saitama's invincible and he has infinite growth potential. Eventually Goku would just run out of stamina, Saitama would be way too stronger than him, and Goku would lose. Either that or they just clash and destroy the entire universe. I'm Mastar, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Looking forward to your angry comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.